Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Mill. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties of motherfucking responsibilities. And we're going to talk about the weak and its motherfucking energy. Because, you know, when shit get weak, we know shit is getting ready to end. Just like your goddamn body. When your body get weak, we know that it's getting ready to see the motherfucking ending results of something. So, motherfucker, due to all the accumulation that you've been doing during the duration of this goddamn week, you're getting ready to see the ending results and what your ass have accumulated throughout the motherfucking week, which is the motherfucking weekend. Now, before we even get into these energies, my spirit feel like I want to give y'all the energies of each day. Now, for the most part, when we're talking about days, right? Each day is a space and a location that we travel through based upon this chakra that we're on. So when we're traveling through a space, there was an energy or influence that a spirit that was within a body have pushed out in this space and location that we is in. Now, you could say as far as an influence, a consciousness, a concept, an idea, or birth of an actual person. When we look at Thursday, that's the Mars. That's Mars. When we're traveling through that space, through that area and location, events have happened, and a star was born, and a star have ascended. So, you know, that is the space that we travel through that had enormous amount of influences of whatever spirit that took many different shapes and forms that carried out the characteristics of what we call Mars today. And so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? You got Wednesday. When we're traveling through that space, Mercury was born in that space. You see what I'm saying? Thursday, Jupiter. Friday, Venus. So each of these days is carrying influences, and we have access to this energy just as well as everybody else. So this is where things is getting tricky, because we have 4 days, aka days that rain down influences and current events. And we have certain entities out here, aka spirits and bodies, that may have more influence than you, aka they're vibrating higher based upon whatever they're doing, rituals or whatever, and coming together and making it more powerful by utilizing themselves and others and you as batteries based upon the access that they have, whether they run the news channels or whatever like that. But that's another video. Now, when we get into the concept of understanding why it's 4 days that's tricky, here's why. Because you have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Friday. Now, here's why they are tricky. Because each day represents an influence that we all have access to. Here's what I mean by that. I'm going to talk about the days that's left out first. Tuesday. Tuesday is the day of Mars. So this is the day that you're supposed to utilize your passion, motivation, your intent, your aggression, your desire. So, for the most part, that's a weekday. That's a business day. So, there's nothing wrong, and it's very easy for them to direct your passionate energy towards what they want you to direct it towards, based upon a job or something that you can't correlate your own full passions in, something that you have to correlate your passions and help something else gravitate energy towards. This is why a lot of music albums used to be released on Tuesdays, and this is why a lot of press release was released on Tuesday, as far as letting you know a movie is getting ready to come out on a Friday and things of that nature. You know, like, there's a lot of different things. But that's another video before we dive into that, because each day is like a whole video of itself. Then you can go to Wednesday. Wednesday is Mercury. So that's the day we all have enormous access to thinking, analyzing. When we're traveling through this space, as far as the chakra that we're on, the star, Gaia, Tiamat, Earth, whatever y'all want to call it, when we're traveling through the Mercury star space, where Mercury once was, or Hermes, or Thoth, or you know, Loki, whatever the fuck y'all want to call this motherfucker. Now, when it was once in this space, when we travel through this space, we have access to all that current influence there. So we have natural abilities to tap it into our logic, rationality, intellect, communication skills. But it is utilized on a Wednesday as a weekday as far as your job again. As far as, you know what I'm saying, as far as your job, as far as schooling, as far as trying to receive information and get things ready for an exam or something like that. So keep that in mind. So your energy that you can utilize as a spiritual nature and with your own chakras is being redirected by other entities for what they want to manifest in order for their creations to can go to college and be set for life and things of that nature, as far as their offsprings and stuff. Now, Thursday is Jupiterian, so Thursday represents Jupiter. So for the most part, Jupiter represents wisdom, knowledge, meanings, and reasonings. Thursday is one of the most days you get the most experience, most wisdom and knowledge, the most advice you can give to others, the most meanings and reasonings you can give to the circumstances and situations that you actually have gone through, that you can give to others or others can share with you. So for the most part, Jupiter, instead of doing that, you also have to do that at work. You know what I'm saying? And you also have to do that based upon getting ready for the weekend. So you could also even just feel like, for an example, you go to work every day, but every day is a different influence. It's a different, so a day is a day, but it's a different event, a different current event that happened, and you know it. Thursday don't never feel like Monday. Monday don't never feel like Tuesday. Tuesday don't never feel like Wednesday. And you can sit here and come up with your logical and rational mind all you want to come up with the conclusion like, no, the reason it don't feel like that because yesterday was different. But for the most part, you could like subconsciously jump into your subconscious mind and kind of decipher where things are the same every Monday, where things are the same every Tuesday, where things are the same every Wednesday. So even though different current events may take place during these days, it's still back to supported by the same energy signature. So it'll be still represented by the same scenarios, the same circumstances. So you'll find yourself still going along the same radio frequency vibration, regardless of the circumstance that may have been modified based upon the transits. That's what you need to understand. So when we talk about Thursday is always going to be a day of gaining wisdom and knowledge and experiencing. Just think about it when you at work or at school. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain energy of Thursday getting ready to be Friday. Just for you to be like, damn, tomorrow Friday, I'm finna get ready to do this and that because Friday the last day. What is you doing on Thursday by saying things like that about Friday? Expansion. You expanding your imagination and things of that nature about what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Expanding your imagination, catching lightning strikes, enlightenment on what you're going to do for the weekend and Friday after you get done with whatever you're doing on Friday. You're doing all that like planning low-key Thursday. You know what I'm saying? That enlightenment. You see what I'm saying? That comes from Jupiter. So don't get naive or passive to the fact of what's actually going on. It'd be the most mundane things that's tied to the transits that a most logical, rational person who don't watch Archangel Uriel who don't believe in astrology would sit here and argue with you about, not knowing that it's the most simplest things every day that's taking place that's correlated to the that's backed and supported by the goddamn transits. Now when we talk about now let's get into the 4 trick planets because, you know what I'm saying, we got 7 planets as of now because, you know what I'm saying, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, those oceans, those bodies of waters have flown so far away from our realm of reality, they're in a different time zone now. So they kind of left our spectrum of our 360, so we can only really correlate those as being mini fixed stars, aka trying to filter those lights or fluids through the fluids that's closer to us, aka the sun through Saturn. But for the most part, there is still an influence, so we still have major influence of those through all of our days. But for the most part, this is why we no longer have a 10-day system, and this is no longer why we have why no longer we add it to our calendars and things of that nature, because we're still in our 360. So we still have to understand how we're rotating, or else we'll be lost. We'll be lost into some other kind of time to the point that we'll lose time and lose understanding with our current events and what's actually going on with our circumstances. And then we won't be able to understand technology right. We won't be able to understand weather. We won't be able to understand none of that shit if we're going based upon another time that's too far away from our time. We ain't swim there yet, and we ain't even got the kind of bodies to swim there. But for the most part, that's another video. Now, because this is a spaceship, that's what you need to understand. But y'all get lost in all kind of other type of shit. Now, when we get into motherfucking Friday, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Here's why they're trick days, because those energies are a little bit more powerful than in this realm of reality than Mars, Mercury, and Jupiter. Here's why, because Jupiter is very misty, so it's very transparent. Mars been here and done that, so it likes to be alone, so it's unrelative, so it doesn't like to relate anyway. So the alignment that Mars and Venus have made way back in the day is what y'all want to call the Baphomet, but that's another video. We're going to get into that also. Also, when we get into the circumstances of Mercury, yeah, Mercury is very young, so the influence is very light. So people are enticed by information, logic, and rationality. So people are diving into that head first. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that's the best thing in the world because it's very new. Remind you, we're in a realm of reality where things is in constant need of fulfilling voids. So there's never an empty space, or there's never a hollowness. There's always fulfilling voids. So every time there's something new, that's a new experience, something that's unfamiliar. So that's a new space to be fulfilled. So anytime there's something new, everybody gravitate towards it or pay attention to it. So when we talk about from a spiritual nature, this will be the planet Mercury. So everybody gravitate towards that and hurry up and want to gain that chakra because it's a new thing. You know what I'm saying? Thoth is a new thing, a new technology, a new spaceship that people could add on so they don't be blindsided or blinded based upon just walking amongst resonation and what you resonate with. Now you can externally see and logically put into shape and form what's in front of you, and hopefully you don't get lost in it, because Thoth taught y'all a lot of that shit too. But for the most part, that's another video. But I'm Archangel Uriel. We're gonna get into some deep shit. So when we're talking about the energies of powerfulness, right? Now we talk about Venus, right? Venus is the morning star. That's a later chakra. That's very powerful because it's dealing with relativeness. Saturn, that's Saturday, so that's dealing with heavy, powerful energy, because that was one of the first stars here that started gaining structure and putting things into routine, or you wouldn't even have no grass or trees without Saturn. For the most part, Sunday is the new in charge, the Jesus Christ figure that's giving y'all all this most high or consciousness energy, and this Jesus and this light figure energy and things of that nature, and walking on water and things of that nature. But that's another video. But that's where that's coming from for the most part, as far as that energy. And then we got Monday, the moon. That's the first feminine shape and form that's here. What's first shall be last, what's last shall be first. So y'all came after the fact. So y'all born after those mothers and fathers. So they're first to you, but they're last to Saturn and all them, to Jupiter, as far as the sun and the moon. They're last to them, but they're first to you. You get it? Because you came after them. So what's first shall be last, what's last shall be first. So to know where you're going, you have to know where you came from. Fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional, subconscious community. Stand up in this motherfucker. So when we talk about the moon is a powerful energy also. So let's talk about these days. Let's start off with which is actually the first day, Sunday. So for the most part, which is actually the last day. But let's talk about it. Sunday, the sun represents your actions, the way you see things, what you're consciously aware of, and your way of enlightenment, and your viewpoint, and your point of direction. And actually it's correlated to your first chakra, because since you was born after it, you utilize that to create your first masculine body, and you utilize the moon to create your first feminine body. So for the most part, these are your Lucifers and your Liliths. See that L word? These are your Lucifers and your Liliths. Your Lucifer is your first masculine body you create for yourself, your solar plexus, and your Lilith is your first feminine body you create for yourself, your moon, your Merkaba. So for the most part, when we talk about the sun is your ability to be enlightened, and your ego, and what you are indulged in, as far as what you're consciously wrapped up into. And for the most part, and what you're going to be influenced by, and what you're going to be lost in based upon that light that take you into darkness. Now, for the most part, they make y'all cling on to Sundays as far as worship. So if you're not worshiping on a Sunday, you're going to feel uncomfortable based upon the civilization that you are in. And once you feel guilty about not having something to worship, or even going against something to worship, just by being around a lot of other people, for the most part, that lets you know you're being attacked by a demon. Now, for the most part, in some way, shape, or form, is draining you. Now, they have made a lot of this type of energy on Sundays. So this is why Sunday is so powerful, because based upon the spirit that was in the body carrying out this influence, once again, this person was most powerful, or most popular. Let's say that word, power of the P. So they have most parameter, most expansion. So everybody was absorbed in their light in some way, shape, or form. So you have to keep this in mind. So they're making you take off your own conscious awareness of viewing your own life, your own enlightenment, and praising your own self, and they're making you cause blasphemous, aka limiting your own self, saying you're incapable of something in any way, shape, or form, and having to give that praise to a demon. And when you don't give that, and anytime you don't give praise to something and you start to feel guilty about it, that lets you know that's a demon, because no higher God or higher entity, and I don't want to even use higher, let's say the expanded entity, never want to drain you, or never want to make you feel, never want to use you as a form of sustaining its position in any way, shape, or form. That just doesn't make sense in that realm of reality. it only try to teach you to have your own space. So if you don't have no spirit guides or no angelic spirits that's teaching you to have your own space in the stars, then goddamn it, you're led by a demon that want to remain in that space and utilizing you as a soldier or footstool to bring more people to worship it, so it can remain in that space and have more soldiers, so it can be more popular. That's another video though. Now and have more influence. Now when we talk about the moon being the sun, that's a powerful energy. So they take all your own powerful energy that you're supposed to give to yourself and force you to give it to another deity. And when I say they, I don't like to utilize that word because I like to pinpoint, but I'm gonna make a video on they so we know how to understand and pinpoint certain entities, because once you get that they out your mind, you can start to pinpoint certain individuals. And if you're spiritually strong enough, you can attack that certain individual. And if that certain individual has a certain amount of influence in that chain of event or that government or constellation or whatever y'all want to call it, then they can do all the power of changing whatever they need to change just based upon you influencing them. So this is how you work the game and how you play what's actually needed to be played, because this person is just a person like you. So they're just wrapped up in a circumstance or a situation based upon the space that they have grew up in the astral realm, based upon what they're developing and manifesting in the third dimension. So we do not need to be spiritual haters down here, because you're not doing nothing more, nothing less but creating packs the same way somebody else is. It's just your ass is doing it on a way lower frequency, on a way whacker level, on a way more local level. So you just need to understand that. You got some people doing it globally. You got some people doing it motherfucking constellational wise. Y'all motherfuckers trying to take over land and take over and get cleared away of shit. You got motherfuckers out here taking over countries and shit like that and off that. But then y'all forget the fact y'all got motherfuckers out here taking over chakras and planets, motherfucking solar systems. Y'all motherfuckers better get with the program. Don't think the battle stop on your motherfucker voting ass fucking the local government and shit. But when we talk about motherfucking Sunday is carrying an enormous energy. So that energy is for yourself, self-enlightenment, to take your actions and act on your imaginations, your creativity, your inspirations, your passions, your music, your manifestations. But they make you do that to other people. So you get up and take your actions and your viewpoint and your directions and get right directed into a church, or get right directed into a church program, or get right directed into not doing anything. So now you feel like Sunday is the day to relax because you done worked all week. And Sunday is actually the day you're supposed to act on and get up. But you exhausted because they reverted everything. See, I'm going to get into the video today, but for the most part, everything have been remixed. So you do more relaxing on Sunday. You think that's the day to sit back and listen to church music or motherfucking Kenny G or some shit like that. Motherfucker. So your motherfucking ass don't even use the sun energy. So you might be a consciously aware motherfucker and want to kick all kind of science about what the sun do for you. But when you go on Sunday, I bet you the type of motherfucker who still say Sunday is the day to relax. Your ass is lost on the highest degree. And whatever spirit be utilizing that shape and form of the sun and create their own shapes and forms got you lost in they Lucifer. So you think that's the most high. So you go with their ideas. And whatever ideas they don't like about the universe, you not going to like it. They going to teach you not to like it and shit like that. So it's just crazy. That's a whole nother video though. But for the most part, now you think you're supposed to relax on Sunday, and Sunday is supposed to be the most day you pay most attention to everything. You put in the most action. You be most consciously aware. You know what I'm saying? When we get into motherfucking Monday is the day to react and respond in your true state of being. So Monday is the day to feel comfortable, right? That's the day you truly supposed to relax. But what happens on Monday? That starts the fucking weekday. It's no longer the weekend. So your ass got to get up early in the morning and go to school, or your ass got to get up and go back to work. Now what happens, right? Your ass be in your goddamn moods. So then it took the day that you were supposed to be comfortable. See, Sunday was the day you were supposed to get up and act. Then you were supposed to rest on Monday. Relax, feel comfortable, and react and respond to the things that you want to manifest, aka the moon, being comfortable in your true state of being. Now, instead of you being able to do that, they force you to take all your manifestation energy, your ability to react and respond in your own comfortable state. That's when you be in your truest state of manifesting. Now they redirected that, and now they make you do that for what they need you to do that for. AKA, now it's time to get back up and go to school. Now it's time to get back up and go to work. Or now you got the influence of is Money Monday, Money Mike, or Money Mitch, or motherfucking Paid in Full. Shout out to Killer Cam, Makai Fife, Wood Harris. You know what I'm saying? Dame Dash for that classic. But for the most part, and Noriega. But hold on, was Noriega in that? I don't even know I'm not sure if Noriega was even in that or not, but that's another video for the most part. I might not be wrong though. But well, I think he said he was supposed to play it. That's another video. I know I get back in my ratchet moments, my ghetto mind, based upon my location. But for the most part, get back to the knowledge and the science. You know, the moon is all about reacting and responding and being comfortable. And now you are forced to do that in their location. So you're forced to take all your manifestation. So now you're uncomfortable. So now you're forced. So now all your comfortable energy is focused on their energy. So now they could be comfortable because they know that your energy of comfortability is being focused on them, on there. So now you're in a state of being uncomfortable, having to react and respond to things that you don't necessarily want to do after the weekend. So for the most part, what they quote unquote call the weekend. So now they're getting all the energy, and now these are the people who run corporations and things of that nature who don't work on no Monday, and they're acting out with the transits because they've been based upon their family and whatever like that, and their civilization, not civilization, but their family and their lineage and things of that nature. They've been putting this into practice, aka going with the planets. So they just ruling a bunch of dumb spirits that came here after the fact who don't know what's going on. So you see what I'm saying? That's what's actually going on. But y'all, I got y'all. I got my soul group. So I don't give a fuck if you got a job on Monday or you got to go to school. Psych your mind up like you're somewhere else and come up with all kind of imaginations and theories and shit in your own imagination, because that's your ability to believe. I bet slowly but surely you get up out of that circumstance. I bet slowly but surely the universe and God put you in a better circumstance, put you in a better place, open up them heaven gates. You don't get tired like Kevin Gates. Believe that. Now, when we talk about Friday, right? Friday, that's Venus. Love, appreciation, value, relativeness, compromising. That's the day of pleasure. That's the day that you're supposed to indulge. So they know that everybody is going to be indulging on Friday. So what happens? They create shit like Black Friday. They create shit like get ready for the weekend. So that means you finna go out and go buy all your drugs or go buy all the shit to get ready for the week. Go buy your bottles, you know what I'm saying? So you don't have to go, when you go out, waste all your money on going to the bar. You can actually get drunk a little bit before actually going. And if you choose to buy a drink there, like a beer or a Heineken or something like that, or a Bud Light there, you could for $3 or $2.50, depending on where you go. But at the same time, you know, you're in a circumstance where they redirect what you're going to indulge into. So they make you indulge in the shit that come out on Friday, which music albums come out on Fridays now. Movies been coming out on Friday. You know what I'm saying? The music industry just got up to game, just got hit. They just got hit to Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? So New York basically just got hit to California, basically, because California is basically the movie industry and organizations and shit like that. Industries. I'm looking for another word. Studios. Yeah, the studios. And New York is more for the music. So they interchange back and forth, but on a percentage scale. East Coast is more music. New York is more music based when it comes to the circuits and how it's translated and how it's pushed out. And as far as movie based and shows and sitcoms and things of that nature, that's more getting into West Coast, California. You know what I'm saying? New York, East Coast is music. And then once we start to talk about going closer up to China and stuff like that, and not China, but Tokyo and shit like that, that's more dealing with fashion, shit like that. Once we talk about India and this motherfucker, that we get more into spirituality. You know what I'm saying? You get that real Indian spirit and shit like that. India and this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And then just everything got different type of shit. But for the most part, that's another video. But Friday, they redirect what you're going to indulge into. So you can't even indulge into what you appreciate, what you love. And 9 times out of 10, that's supposed to be your art, your artistic natures. You know what I'm saying? Your relatives, things you're relative to, the things that you're compromising with, which is supposed to be your family and friends and your material and the things you're trying to grow and see have life. But now they have redirected that, so now you indulge in going out on Fridays, going into the club and going, which ain't nothing wrong with that. You can do that from time to time because they just higher access participate in that energy also. But at the same time, they're taking your natural Venus energy away from you, and instead of you accessing it for yourself, you're taking your own chakra Venus and accessing it for what they want you to access it for. So you never truly manifest any blissful moments for your life. You only end up manifesting blissful moments, aka the moments that they created for you, which you can actually create a full blissful day. It's like, it's deep, but I'm gonna do a whole separate video for that. I just want to do a video on days. Also, when we talk about Saturday is very dominant. So, you know what I'm saying? Saturday is back to supported by Saturn, the Sabbath day. So this is actually another day you're supposed to relax and be calm. So they got you off on Saturday, but then for the most part, they got you redirecting your reality, your way of looking at reality, your way of gaining structure in your life based upon a person, place, or thing. So for the most part, when you're supposed to be making sense out of things, analyzing, gaining structure in your life, practicalizing, and keeping things calm, cool, and collected, they redirected your Saturday into you wanting to be all out and about and saying fuck practicality, fuck logic, because you didn't work all week. Now you're gonna use Saturday to get drunk. You're gonna use Saturday to go out. You're gonna use Saturday to spend money. You're gonna use Saturday to visit people, when Saturday is supposed to be used to make sense out of something, gain structure in your life, save your money, to be calm, cool, and collected, chill out, create a boundary, restriction, or limit. Don't eat that day, you know what I'm saying? Or just drink that day, you know what I'm saying? As far as water or juice, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're gonna eat something light, like just potato chips or cookies, but no something that you're gonna have to do a large digestive type of formulation. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be the Sabbath day, almost like Ramadan every week. You see what I'm saying? Saturday's supposed to be the day you just chill out on everything. But since they remixing your days, this is why I said you got 4 trick days. Because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, those are powerful days, daemons, influences, bodies of waters. So they use that big influence that everybody got access to, and then they make you do it for what they want you to do it for. This is why these are the 4 trick days, and they don't really give a fuck about Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because you're utilizing that energy for what they need you to do it for by default anyway. Because we all by default kind of utilize these energies on those influences. Like your passions, motivations, and desires could go towards anything. So that's good when you can passionately get your school work done, or your work job done, or your passion or your goals done any day, and especially on Tuesday. So whether you at work or you off that day, a lot of times people checks come out on Tuesday, or the week about to start over on Wednesday. So it's like these are just mixed energies to like swimming to get to the heavy currents again. The heavy currents, more influences. Those are Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. And then we swim there through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. These are the lighter currents where we could just swim. You know what I'm saying? And then it's crazy though, because Saturday, instead of you utilizing logic and rationality and making sense out of something and getting prepared for Sunday, getting prepared for what you're going to act on to create your imagination and to be center stage for everybody to see you on, you said to hell with all that and went out or got drunk or relaxed because it was your day off. So you ain't utilized no practical energy. No shit making sense. You ain't have no boundaries and restrictions and limits. You actually was open to everything. You was open to all restaurants. You was open to all movies that came out that Friday. You know what I'm saying? You was open to every drink. You know what I'm saying? So it's like fucked up. Girls open all their legs. You know what I'm saying? The males pants all the way down. Flies all open on Saturdays. It's crazy. So they remixed everything. And when I say they, we need to understand who are they. And once we understand who is who, we know they ain't nobody. It's just a bunch of dumbass individuals themselves. Some smarter than the others, and just in that group. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air, and we all stars in this motherfucker, and remember that. So we all got influences. So make sure what you're paying attention to is positive to you. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air,